probably wondering why we're laughing here.
Because we're funny.
Fuck. So there's this thing that we always do whenever like our microphones are set up, right? I'm like, all right, you're lit, I'm lit, like our recording. I'm like, all right, let's go into it. And Gavin's like, nope, not until you say it. So, anyways.
Well, cheese in my jeans. That's a hot pocket.
I'm having more fun than I do in Call of Duty.
Speaking of Call of Duty. Speaking of Call of Duty, we're going to be talking about some video games today, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, video games, they are the gateway into the world of fantasy, right? They are a specific gateway. They increase they can increase your motor functions, right? Your reaction time,
yes.
How your brain processes things. And we've been blessed as a generation, I'd say, to be at the inception of some of the greatest games ever. Okay.
Agreed, yeah.
So, and then Cold War came.
We've been waiting to do this one because I remember when Modern Warfare came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing video games for like a while, not like you guys, but like I grew up with, Call of Duty, like rail games on the Wii.
Yeah.
I used to play them, and it wasn't until like I met all you guys where I got like Xbox Live and all that kind of stuff, because it was sports, school, and then we played Modern Warfare.
Whoa.
And you guys loved and then hated the game.
I think we took it a little bit for granted, but the game was bad. Call of Duty has been on a steep decline. I don't know what's happening. I think it's just they're getting lazy and they're kind of falling in the same trap like Fortnite fell into, where it's like you have in the beginning, right? You have this idea and this creative like process you go through, right? And then you have like the games are coming out and they're good, right? So back in the day, you have Modern Warfare 2. Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2.
Oh, Black Ops 2, dude.
That cycle was that stretch of time really cemented people like us. Like for me, I started playing Call of Duty. The first game I ever played was Modern Warfare 2's campaign. I'm lying to you. The first game I ever played was World at War campaign. And then I played Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
Started online, started playing multiplayer on Modern Warfare 3. And the cycle went on from there. It was being a kid in that era, you just have so many good games to play and like so many fun Call of Duties that you spend. Like I remember I would be in school and I'd be thinking about like, when I get on my game, like I'm not getting off that thing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for like someone for me in particular, obviously my mom and my dad are separated, so I had to go to my mom's on the weekend, and that's where I kept my video games at, because when I was at school on the weekdays, I didn't want to be my parents didn't want me to be distracted.
Sure.
And I didn't want to be distracted from school and everything.
That makes sense.
But when I'd get to my mom's, that's all I'd play.
Yeah.
So for hours and hours and hours, I would just play Call of Duty. And it was fun. I played with my friends. I played with myself. Like.
I bet you did.
Anyway.
I bet you. Anyways, video games.
Yeah.
You playing with yourself in your room alone after school as a 15-year-old child. That's gonna go great.
Yeah, my bad.
This has been a tailspin since the beginning. We just spent an hour and like 40 minutes working on like thumbnails.
Hey, it was an hour 39 minutes and 26 seconds. Hey. All right, anyway, let's rein it in.
We are not sponsored by Rain.
Shut up. All right, let's rein it in. All right, as I was saying. Stop. Shut up. All right. People are just going to skip this one because you're being a meathead.
Anyways.
So I'd be playing Call of Duty by myself.
Yes.
And, I would spend hours upon hours on the game.
Well, it was easy because it was fun. You had your friends to play. You had all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stop laughing.
Play with my friends all the time.
Stop. They're gonna be like, why are they laughing so much?
I don't know. All right. So yeah, but back then, like especially for Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, like I know Black Ops 2 was kind of the game where it was like the inception of my Call of Duty, like it was really the beginning of my Call of Duty career.
And people still think that Black Ops 2 is the pinnacle of Call of Duty. Yeah,
I would say you can have a really good debate whether it be Modern Warfare 2, 3, or Black Ops 2 as the greatest Call of Duty of all time.
Well, I remember when Modern Warfare 3 came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first Call of Duties I played, and it was on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, mowing lawns or doing whatever, and like trying to figure out like how I can get the money to buy it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, MW drops tonight!" Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm watching everyone's like Snapchat stories back when like Snapchat looked totally different, and like Instagram stories. Dude, we're playing Modern Warfare 3. MW3's out, and everyone got all excited. It's definitely changed.
Yeah. Well, I know that. So for Call of Duty, so I know for Modern Warfare 3 in particular, I think that was the highest or one of the highest at the time grossing Call of Duties on like launch.
Really?
Like so, you had I think you had I remember you had lines outside of GameStop. Like I'm talking lines. Like
when people went to GameStop.
Yeah, people went to GameStop and Best Buy and they were whatever. And they were standing outside and waiting for the game to be released at like midnight. So I remember, you shout out to Tyler. Me and Tyler went one night. We went to a midnight release for, I want to say World War II, or I think it was World War II. We went for the midnight release.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, it was cool. It was just a cool thing. We got coffee and we just kind of chilled out in the parking lot and then walked up at like 11:40 and got in line and one of the first people to get their hands on the game. For those kind of games, I think it's crazy, how far Call of Duty has fallen because after Black Ops 3, so you had Black Ops 2 and then you had Ghosts, right?
Yeah.
And then after Ghosts was Advanced Warfare. And now Ghosts was a game that was not received well at the time. I mean, I played it a lot. I know, like Tyler played it a lot.
Yeah.
I know, like we really played the game.
Well, I love Ghosts, and what was cool about that is, like I said, we weren't big video game advocates. I literally went from the Wii to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I remember that was one of the Ghost was the first game because it came with the console.
Yeah.
So I remember when it came out. I remember playing it. We loaded it up, and so that first cutscene.
Yeah.
When you're with your father.
Yeah.
And you're in the woods,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this looks like cinematic, and that was when I really realized like how much games just in general.
Well, I think the game really was it wasn't received well for a lot of people because it was so different than Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
That like it felt different. It looked different. The guns were totally different. Like the way it just played was a little worse in my opinion. And so after that game came a revolution. Was Advanced Warfare, and that was the inception of jetpacks in Call of Duty. And it really wasn't a jetpack. It was like you just had like advanced. It was a jetpack, but you had advanced movement.
Yes.
You couldn't wall run or anything, but you can jump real high on top of things and speed boosts to the side and dash and whatever. So it's just it's one of those things where it's like it was received well, but not as well. I know I didn't buy the game. I didn't like it. I played it at some so I forget whose house I was in, but I played it and I was like, this is awful. I just didn't like the feel of like jetpacks.
Yeah.
And then Black Ops 3 came out the next year and I was like, I have to get Black Ops 3 because it looks cool. And
yeah, I didn't play Black Ops 3.
Fun fact, through Advanced Warfare, I still had my Xbox 360. So Advanced Warfare was out. And then going into the end of 2015, I still was playing Black Ops 2 and Ghosts because a lot of people
were still playing Black Ops 2.
So it was a 3-year-old game, but people were still on the game all the time. And so Advanced Warfare had its cycle, did its thing, and a lot of content creators really weren't playing it, really weren't posting videos of it a lot because a lot of people didn't like myself didn't like it, didn't want to watch it because it wasn't really that fun of a game to watch.
Show the decline.
And then Black Ops 3 comes out, and it kind of boosts back people's like the popularity of the franchise. Everyone likes Black Ops 3. Obviously, people are like, "Oh, jetpacks suck," yada yada. I know I played a crap load of Black Ops 3. That's where myself and Tyler or Gunny, we played a lot of like game battle matches and GB, or
when you weren't as good, right?
Yeah, oh god. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, Gavin he's not even in the top 1% anymore. You're like the top whatever. So like for example, like there's like different levels, right? I'm kind of giving you a bit of a shout out, but Gavin doesn't lose Call of Duty. His KD, which is your kill to death ratio,
it's really bad.
It's
only like a 1.7. Which isn't really that good.
Yes, but considering the amount of games you played, the amount of wins and the kills you had on the game, it says you were in the top 1% of the entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or less than 1%. So. Sorry, funny. Anyway.
Well, no, I mean.
Well, I just want to give you a shout out because, like, you are really good at the game. Not as good as me with my 0.5 KD. I mean 2.5 KD. Point.
Anyway. Yeah. So the whole thing happened like this, right? So to kind of break it down, started playing Call of Duty back like in Modern Warfare 3, and I was bad. Okay, I wasn't as bad as like. I wasn't the worst player, but I wasn't a good player, and I was a really good pub player. And I know, I would play a lot, and then when Black Ops 3 came out, like Black Ops 2, I was decent enough. I wasn't crazy good, but as the game progressed and the more I played the game, the better I got at the game, obviously. So by the time Advanced Warfare was kind of coming to a decline, I was pretty damn good at Black Ops 2.
Sure, yeah.
But for somebody that's playing against regular people, now, when me and Tyler started to play GB matches, I was really bad in the sense of like a competitive style. So if
you mean game battle,
right? Yeah. So if anybody that doesn't know, game battles is a website, or UMG or whatever is their websites that you can go on and you can basically make an account, and you can play free ladder matches, which is you match up with two people. You could do, like me and Tyler did 2v2 matches in Search and Destroy, where you play against other people on the website, through whatever game. And you rise in the rankings, rise in the ladders, whatever. And then something else, you can also play wagers, which is you put money on the games. You can go from $1 up to whatever amount you want, really. And, that's how a lot of people, like a lot of big content creators and even some professional Call of Duty players got their name out there through Black Ops 3. So you have guys like...
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so you have guys like Teddy Rex and... Great, and I'm gonna start. Oh, like Blastful and Mutex and Simp, Abeezy, like all these professionals.
Now, when did like Nick Merckx? You have Tim the Tatman, Quibi.
So Tim the Tatman, in particular, has been streaming for like 12 years or 10 years.
Yeah, that I know.
He started off on a bunch of different. I think he started off on Overwatch.
That's my boy.
Yeah. Funny enough, I started watching Nick Merckx because Tyler told me, he was like, yo, I just started watching this guy, Nick Merckx. He's kind of funny. He like wears a wife beater all the time, and he like screams. And
like the video.
So I clicked on his stream one day. I've looked him up. I've watched him, and he was playing Black Ops 3 3v3 wagers with Amps and Neo. Now, this is when Nick Merckx had a basic overlay. He's in a gray wife beater with his Astro A40s on. Screaming at Neo. Neo's going off. Nick Merckx is using like the CUDA or VMP or something. And I remember the exact map they were playing. They were playing Stronghold, Search and Destroy, and Nick Merckx had, I think, like 2,000 followers or something on Twitch, like nothing. And so that's when I first started watching Nick Merckx. So yay for that.
Holy cow! Only 2,000. You were checking him out?
Yeah.
Damn.
So it was. I'm pretty sure it was like 2,000. But anyway, yeah. So he wasn't really popular yet. He only had like a couple hundred viewers in his stream at the time, and it was something to. It was cool because I enjoyed watching him. He was funny. And then so me and Tyler would play a lot, and Tyler was leagues beyond my skill level. He just understood the game more than I did.
Yeah, and even now I'm getting better, but I didn't understand like how much it went into video games because like I said, sports kind of took up a lot of my life. So did school, and we were always playing outside. It's like in the neighborhood that I lived in, which we're in now. We really didn't play a lot of video games. Like, we would play at my neighbor's house, like, BOT Zombies or whatever it was. And then it wasn't until I started playing with you guys, and specifically you and Gunny and Gio, to where I realized I know nothing.
Well, that was my realization when, like, me and Tyler were playing, and all of a sudden, he's, crapping on kids, and I'm sitting here with, like, 1 kill, barely. You know what I mean? And it was just one of those things where playing with, I tell you all the time, the more you play, the better you're going to get, and the more competition you play, the better you're going to get.
Yeah, but like how to get to Carnegie Hall, practice.
So when I played against Tyler, I would get frustrated, I would get annoyed and angry, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, he was getting upset because I was so bad. So I was getting upset because he was beating me in 1v1s, or he was just doing better than me, and he was getting upset because he was carrying me, and so we would play all the time, and we did that cycle from Black Ops 3 into Infinite Warfare, and then into Black Ops 4. We kind of stopped playing matches together. It was just, I feel like it was a little bit of a drain, not like a drain on, it was a little bit of a drain on our friendship, simply because we would be on the game, especially after I graduated high school and I got surgery and I wasn't leaving my house. We would play the game legitimately every day, all day. And so when you're playing that many games, and for someone that's just, like as myself, someone that's just coming up and just getting a little bit better, versus him who, was just already cemented in his skill level, it was just tough, because eventually arguments happen and, things go sour. But thank God we were able to patch things up and come back together and, and continue our friendship in peace. So I'm grateful for that, So it's kind of the thing that we used to do, and like I said, Black Ops 4 came out, kind of stopped playing matches together. But what's funny is when Infinite Warfare came out, it came out with a the Modern Warfare, like original Modern Warfare, remastered.
Oh, okay.
So me and Tyler would play that a lot, and we were actually for a little bit, we were part of a amateur, like, search and destroy team.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys were getting serious.
Yeah.
Now, were you good like what you were now, or were you kind of coming up?
I was nowhere near what I am now, but I would say I was at least decent. Like, Tyler's probably, if you're listening to this, Tyler, don't expose me. But but no, it was, I would say I was good for at least 4 to 6 kills a game, depending on the map. Sometimes if we're playing like 3v3 or 4v4 at the time, I would go 0-9. It just kind of had to, sometimes it would happen. There was a time where, and it was a time where I didn't fully understand gaming. I didn't fully understand, like, internet speeds and issues, and
I'm kind of in the same boat you are, because, like, I only learned what ping that I have on certain maps or certain areas in the household where people are there, or whatever it is in the apartment, where it's like, oh, okay, I have 30 ping now, and you would be like, Matt, what's your ping? I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that means. And then now it's like, oh, I only had 45 ping this match.
Well, that was in the same boat I was in. I didn't understand, and so now, like, playing with you guys now, like, I fully understand where Tyler was coming from. We're being like, oh my God, because, like, now, I'm nowhere near some of the top end of the spectrum.
Just do it all day. We have jobs, and life. And,
but if I were to play the game every day, all day, I think I could. I think with my skill level and what I know now, I think I could be at least. I would say I would be good enough to actually win some kind of money in something.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see, like, dude, like, you're sometimes going like 21-4.
Yeah.
Gavin, you're hacking. I'm using a controller.
I don't even try to. Like, I really don't. Like, when we get on, I don't try to pop off or anything. I just play the game.
Yeah.
And I just outshoot people a lot. That's
I just wish I was more like consistent, because there's some games where I'll be like 11-6, 11-7, or whatever it is, and then we'll go to the next match, and Mr. 007 decides to come back out.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a matter of, it's all mental. Because, that's true. Because, like, a lot of people, with whatever game you play, like, whether it be a sports game or a Call of Duty or like a shoot, whatever game, you always have your kind of your hands do the same movements per game. So for me, right, if I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm sniping, I always YY, and then I'll like, jump around a corner, or I'll spin, or like I'll do something every time. Like it's just what I do.
Yeah, I know. I can't watch you because it's just like my eyes.
Yeah, because I play on max sensitivity. So, but it's something that's it's just what I do. It gets me into my rhythm.
Yeah.
And my timing. And the Call of Duty is a really big timing game.
Call of Duty timing.
Yeah. So because it's like one of those things where it's like, I know we would talk about like you would like the other day I shot a kid, he went around a corner, I jumped around the other side of the wall and killed him, and you were like, how'd you know he was going to be there? And it's just anticipation, right? Because like it's kind of like driving, right? Like you know how fast you have to go to make a turn, how fast you have to go to go around a bend.
Someone's turning, you have to anticipate,
So when you come to a four-way stop, it's like, okay, I'm good, you got to go, then this guy is going to go, then I'm going to go, then this person's going to go. And
so you've explained this to me before.
Yeah, like Call of Duty is the same kind of way where it's like, okay, I know the map, I know what the what the most populated areas of the map usually are, and so where do I have to be so that I have a greater chance of killing them and seeing them before they kill and see and kill me. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah. So that's why like we get a little upset at you or something sometimes when you're just sprinting through like one of the middle of the map in like a 2v4 and you're just sprinting at the other team and then you die, like where was he at? And to you it's like you don't know where he is, but to me it'd be like
why'd you sprint
running through the middle of the
slide
street,
cancel into a different corner or looker? Yeah, and I do try to get better at that. It's one of those things where it's like, well, because we have the gym in the morning. We're there for like 2-3 hours, and then we come home. I have schoolwork to do, or we do this podcast, and it's like, okay, I'll hop on when I get done work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I wish the game was a lot better, because one of the biggest frustrations with Cold War for me is just simply getting into lobbies with your friends.
Yeah.
Like not even just like loading into a search and destroy or like a domination or whatever it is. It's like, hey man, let's all hop into like your lobby because you have the best internet. So it's like, all right, well, dude can't get in. It says there's a game error. Or like the other day you were hopping on with me because I had some time before class or before I had to go like work, and game crashes.
Yeah, and it's just really frustrating because it's like, Call of Duty was always like you just join up with your friends, you get on, and either you do really well, you get shit on, or whatever. It's kind of how it goes. But now it's like with Call of Duty, it's like the game loading time takes forever on a console, and you go to if I wanted to join someone that's on like a PC, half the time I can't, and they can't join me. I have to restart the game. I have to do all this stuff, and it's just a big drag on the game. And then on top of that, the game isn't that fun. No. Now I have a lot of days played on the game. I'm a really high level every season, but the reason for that is mainly because it's just that game that we can all play together to where we all have some kind of competency.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of us, like, we can't all, like, not every game is cross-compatible with different consoles or different,
Thanks,
PC.
Sony.
Yeah. And I know a lot of different games are, like, maybe nobody plays the game. So I know, like, for me, I play MLB The Show, right?
Yeah.
It came out on Xbox this year with PlayStation. It's no longer a PlayStation exclusive, but that's also a 1v1 kind of a game. Like, multiple people can't play it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm really the only one out of our friend group that really enjoys it.
You're an MLB nut. If anyone listens to our
Yeah.
our sports weeklies, we'll cover like MLB, and Gavin just knows every statistic up and down, and I'm just struggling to keep up.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll learn, but
yeah. But yeah, so it's just frustrating because then it's like you really like for me for the past few months of video games, I really haven't I can't say that I've enjoyed my time apart from us having fun together as like friends and like laughing and joking around. But if I can't get on Call of Duty alone anymore and just play, like, I can't do it.
I'm the same exact way, because I know like a while ago we were just, well, not even that. Well, I'll get into that in a second. But like look at Cold War when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
We were MW needs to stop. Like we were done. Like Cold War comes out, we all got it. We're all excited, and then we played the first match. It was on that sand one.
A satellite.
Satellite, and we played, and we all went. No.
Well, you guys went. I might have gone 19-0.
That is true. That is true.
Very first game on Cold. That's something that I still remember, bro. We got on first game on. I went 19-0.
And we were all just getting shit on. Like, even like Gio was like having a rough time. And then I remember we played a couple more matches, and then we're like, no, fuck this, we're done. And then we went back to MW, but then we're like, dude, we don't want to play that.
Yeah.
And we played MW for like a couple weeks, and then we're like, should we try Cold War again? Tried it again. Couldn't even get into the lobbies because we were having all that issue. Sorry. And like the game was just crashing all week. Like that day on release, they just weren't ready for all these people to just show out for the game.
That's how it's been the last like 4 years.
And it's so frustrating. So then we ended up finding like Need for Speed.
Yeah.
And Need for Speed Heat, which kind of was actually a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I remember like we were grinding, and then you, me, and Cody or whoever would be up to like 4 in the morning. Hey, let's just go get breakfast.
Go get breakfast and then 4 in the morning. That was great. That was what was that? That was this past summer.
That was
like early summer.
Yeah.
And we would go and we would stay up all night long
Nick,
playing
so it was cross compatible. Yeah.
9 p.m. to like 5 a.m. and going for different parts for the cars, trying to get more money, and then we would be like, let's go to breakfast. Yeah.
But it was fun because like you could play with your friends, and I think that's a big aspect of like gaming, which especially I'm learning, is to be able to play with my friends, because I don't have an exorbitant amount of time to play, especially in the days when I'm getting home at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You're getting home at 10 after being chef. Cody's a bar manager. Gio's a server.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we're all kind of beat. I know, like, my job isn't as physically demanding as you guys, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I want to be able to play and enjoy the time, but it's like we're all getting on Call of Duty, and
it's just one of those games where it's like where we get on, and then you're like, we're all competitive, so that's the problem. We're all too competitive.
Not even a little
because
bit.
Then like if we get on, we all get shit on, and we're not having a good time.
Yeah.
But it's like if I carry the team or Gio carries the team, it's like it's not really, because like for me,
you'll go like 20, 21, and 6 for the L.
Yeah, and then it's like we lose, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't really want to play anymore, because now it's like, it's just, what am I gonna do? How much better can I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it's got to be frustrating to do that.
It is frustrating, but then it's also frustrating when you have people like you have, like for example, like you might get frustrated at the game, or you might get frustrated and be bored of playing, and then you get off.
Never.
And then it's like, for me, it's like, well, we just spent the last like hour and a half, 2 hours playing, and then it's like, now you want to get off, and then it's like, I'm not gonna play by myself, so what am I gonna do?
You're just gonna hop off and just
vibe
play
out.
your thumbs.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where Call of Duty is on it. And when Vanguard, I was like, okay, so when Modern Warfare was the prime game, and they released the trailer for Cold War, you can ask Tyler, you can ask Gio. Like, I was like, I'm not getting the. You remember? I was like, I'm not getting the game.
You weren't gonna get it, and then I think you got it.
So I was a joke. So I bought it, and I didn't tell anybody that I bought it, but I downloaded it, and then on release night, I bought it 2 hours before it released.
Okay.
So I pre-ordered it. I got the pre-order like skin or whatever, and then I downloaded the game. And then we were all in Discord, and then the game came out, and everyone was like, "Let's go!" And then I joined up, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, yep, I remember that. Yeah.
And then we got off the game.
Yeah.
And then
it was just rough, because it's one of those things where it's like everyone was so excited, because we were all, especially like me and especially you and Gio, were just done with Modern Warfare. Especially with like shipment. 24/7, which is like it's like the smallest map.
Yeah. Get the most kills.
But it's just exorbitantly frustrating. And I remember we got on and we're like, this is just bad.
Yeah.
And then we were watching like the gameplay of Vanguard.
Oh.
I remember like the beta came out, and we all just got back from the gym, so we're all getting like our protein shakes, and we're just sitting there, and you're like, dude, watch this shit. I'm like, what?
It just looks so bad, because I'm so tired of playing. I'm so sick of hearing about World War II. Everything goes back to World War II. Yeah, because it's supposed to be, the premise of the game is it's supposed to be a different, like a parallel universe World War II. So it's World War II if World War II happened in a parallel, like a different time. So it's in the 50s or whatever instead of the 30s and 40s, and it's got like some advanced technology. So you have like red dot sights for some reason. I think lasers or something. Like you have some weird stuff that you just, and it's just like, and then they're like, oh well, you get to play on like 4 different continents in the campaign and multiplayer maps and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then but then it's like, oh, you have destructive environment, so you can't see through a wall, break it down, and it's like, dude, that's not what people want to play. You don't. It's not Fortnite. And
then you have to equip.
You have to,
like not a perk, or it might be a perk, where if someone shoots, you can see them on the minimap. But if you look anyways on every single Call of Duty to date, if someone else shoots, they pop on the minimap.
Yeah, you need a perk to see the red dot.
So now, like, you're taking one away from having like Quartermaster, which kind of recharges your
your nades and stuff.
Yeah, and
it's just so aggravating it's so frustrating to play, because it's like to see, because then it's like, what's going to happen is the game's going to come out and a bunch of people are going to play it, right? Millions are going to play it. And then you're going to see people like, oh, this game's cool for like a week. And then people are going to be like, this game fucking sucks. Yeah. And then they're going to go back to Cold War or whatever they're going to do. And you look at it, what happened to Fortnite? Fortnite was the biggest game for like a year, 2 years.
Everyone played it. It was like a cool thing to be like, yo, dude, can't go see the girl today. I got to go grind.
Yeah, it was influential. And then all of a sudden, you know, I remember we played Fortnite all the time. Like that was the game to be on. And then around mid 2019, early 2019 maybe, the game kind of started not becoming fun. You know,
well, they started changing it out, making it a little kiddish.
It was a lot more for kids,
adding a lot. Yeah, like they were focusing on all these dances and stuff like that. Yeah, and then you have like influencers kind of placating to like your 10, 12-year-olds.
And then all the kids are getting on the game, and then it's like there was a time where like if you were on PC, you had such a clear advantage over anyone on console. Yeah. And then they're like, well, we got to make console better. And then so then the people on PC were like, well, the aim assist is too strong and it's not fair and yada yada. Yeah. And then by 2019, I kind of stopped playing the game.
And I think a lot of people did. And the other thing too is like it did kind of happen with a lot of the media, because one of the reasons why I stopped playing was not even just the aspect of like the PCs or whatever it was. It was just like at the time, you know, I was working as a teacher aide with the Y, so I was in like the elementary schools, like South Elementary and like all the Springford ones, and all I'm seeing is, Mr. Matt, we're gonna do a Fortnite dance, and I'm like, yeah, you're such a good kid, but it's just cringe. Or use the Fortnite shirts, and so I would see that for like 5 hours a day on top of being in like college. Yeah. And then I'm just doing all this, and I'm like, I have no desire to play the game.
And it's not even fun. And so then so that game kind of died, and I feel
maybe we're
like
getting old.
I think we're getting a little old. I mean, video games are still fun, but I think I'm kind of gearing towards more games that are more like cinematic or like single player.
Well, same here.
Just because it's like I can get on and play like The Last of Us again, or play God of War or something.
Oh, I gotta play
and
that.
It's like I'm actually playing versus the game, rather than, you know, playing against other people. And so it's like it's still, you know, it's competitive for me in a way where it's like I get to get my competitive juice in there by playing on like a hardest difficulty. How fast can I beat the game, whatever, versus like figuring it out versus like getting on Call of Duty or something and then feeling like no matter what I do, it's going to be the same result, because even if I go 5-5 or 15-2, it doesn't, you know, it's probably not going to matter.
Well, then that's what I grew up with, because we never had Xbox Live, because we would always be doing whatever it was. Yeah. So it was never one of those things where one, as children, we could afford, or two, our parents wanted to put money into it, because we didn't really play. Like the Xbox barely got touched. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like clearing my throat so much, but one of the things that don't smile at me. I'll fight you. Anyways, it was a lot of Assassin's Creed, which you know was probably my favorite franchise when it comes to gaming, and that's where like why am I blanking on that Star Wars game that just came out?
Oh, Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, yeah. And I like those kind of cinematic games because it's just me, but it's like the competitive nature to complete this mission or whatever it is. And like we just had Valhalla come out, and you guys like lost track of me for like how many months with 172 hours I played. Oh God.
Well,
hey, Matt, what are you playing tonight?
Valhalla. Sorry. Yeah, and then it's like it's just not fun to do the same thing, and it's like I mean, you got like God of War 2018 came out, and that game was insane, you know, and
I wish I played.
You have recently, you know, you have like Ghost of Tsushima, right? And that game was insanely good, cinematically, gameplay wise, you know, and now it's like I'm kind of at the point where it's like I want to get on with my friends, I want to play games, I want to have a good time. But there's just, even like my MLB game, like the MLB was kind of the game where I could fall back on, like if we play Call of Duty for a few hours and then everyone gets off, I get to play MLB for another like hour or two before going to bed.
And you were excited for that to come out too. You were talking about that for a while.
Yeah, like I was exciting. Like it was a fun game, and yeah, it had its flaws and it had its, you know, has its whatever. But this game, 2020 or MLB The Show 21 came out, and it just kind of killed, my drive to even get on the game. Because, like, so for example, like I said, we would have a good or bad day on Call of Duty. Everyone would get off, and then I'd be playing MLB, and I would love to grind MLB because I want the best players.
Sure,
I want the biggest,
100%.
the best rank, whatever. And I'm not, to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at the game.
You're what, like 90 and 40?
I'm 90 right now in ranked seasons. I am 92 and like 41. And
it's not good at
it's
all.
It's October,
it's awful.
And to put into perspective, in MLB The Show 20, I was 160 and like, I think I was like 160 something and like 60 or 80 or something. And then in 2019's MLB The Game, I was like 160 and 99. To be when the game ended. So at this point, I haven't really played that many games in comparison, but it's just because the gameplay is not fun. You look at all the biggest streamers of the game and the content creators, and it's just not fun.
Well, I mean, I'll never forget this TikTok because it was the big streamers. You have like Nick Mertz, Tim the Tatman,
Yeah,
Quibi, and I forget their fourth. But
you mean Cloaksy?
No, it was I'm telling you,
his name isn't Quibi.
No, because it's a different. I'm telling you, it's Quibi. It might be Cloaksy, but I'm telling you,
his name is Cloaksy.
But am I pronouncing it wrong?
It's Nick Mertz, Tim the Tatman, Cloaksy, and it's either Courage or Dr. Lupo or Ninja or.
All right. Well, either way, if I'm wrong, someone can yell at me later. I'm sure I'll.
That was the group. It was Tim the Tatman, Nick Mertz, Ninja, yes. Dr. Lupo, and Courage, yes. And Cloaksy kind of came in later, and then you had Symphony in there.
Yes, well, I think Symphony might have been their fourth, if I'm getting it correctly, but regardless, they were sitting there, and not Tim. It was Nick Mertz jumps off the building, comes out, shoots this kid. Kid turns around, fully spins on him, doesn't miss a single shot as he's moving around.
Yeah.
And then they watch the replay, and Nick's like, no shots on this kid, and this kid doesn't miss off of his head, and just destroys him, and he just goes, nope, done. And you watch it on stream, goes in, deletes the entire Warzone file, and goes, nah, I'm done. They go, Nick, where'd you go? No, I'm done. I'm done. Throws his headset. He's like, I'm done. And it's one of those things, and it loads up Fortnite, and it's just funny because it's like, you have these big streamers where they make money from this. Like, they get sponsored. Lots of money, and they get sent stuff from Treyarch and like Activision, and it's just frustrating because it's like you have these big streamers who do this every day, and then you have us guys who just want to chill out when we're done school or work, and it's like even they are getting frustrated.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Like, you look at how much money they were making off of Fortnite. They got off of Fortnite. How much money they were making off of Warzone. They still play it. I know Tim still plays it, but like Nick Mertz went to Apex. Yeah. And it's just one of those things where it's like, look at Dr. Lupo. He made a shit ton of money. He was a big streamer. Now all he plays is Escape from Tarkov. Doctor did Disrespect. Hates Warzone. Hates Fortnite.
Oh, he doesn't hate.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I know he does. I know.
Like
he complains about it every time. Yeah. That's all you see on TikTok.
Like literally, like I remember I'd get home from work or something. I'd be watching like Tim, and it'd be Tim and Nick and Ninja and all. I don't even know what Ninja plays anymore. I haven't watched his stream in probably 2 years, and I haven't seen. Tim, he moved to YouTube instead of Twitch, starts streaming, and it's him and Cloaksy or him and Symphony or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's like, you can kind of see where it's like these guys have made so much money and they're so famous now where it's like if they don't want to play a game, they're just not going to play it. Because I know like if you're a streamer and you hate a game, like you hate like Cold War, but you're growing on it, you're getting more popular because you're either really good or you're kind of like a cool personality or whatever it is, you're not going to get off the game.
No, and it's one of those things where that's my point. As you're talking about, they're making so much money from it, they're growing on it, they're getting a lot of their views from it, and they just are like, nah, fuck this. Yeah. And if that isn't a huge message, and it's one of those things too when we play, and you and Gio, well, you both are top 1%. I know you're a little higher, but regardless, you go, oh, this guy's cheating, and you're like, what do you mean he's cheating? And you're like, yeah, like he's straight up cheating. And then it's like when you guys are saying this and then we watch the kill cam, I'm like, oh, I see what you're saying. And it's like, that's one of the things that they've been complaining about for years. Mm-hmm. And it's so frustrating to kind of hear because it's like, what put an end to that cheating. And that's one of the jokes you always see on like TikTok. Oh, okay, Treyarch, let's have a meeting with the company meeting. Oh, You know what? Let's put an anti-cheat in. Let's put some balanced guns. Let's put some new maps in. And like the big CEO goes, "Shut up, you in the corner. You know what we should do? We should put in a overpowered gun."
Yeah.
Shout out the what are those?
The Marshals.
The Marshall. Oh my god, that's another rant. But let's put in an overpowered gun. Let's unbalance them. And you know what? Let's put a remastered map that looks exactly the same in it and say new map, guys. And we're gonna make that new update. Let's make it like 20 gigabytes.
Well, you know
let's just send it.
You know what's crazy is Cold War. In particular, they were like they put out the game. The game was failing, and they were like, "All right, what do we got to do? Bring in old maps." So they brought in Raid, Slums, Nuketown, and there's another one I'm missing.
See, Nuketown I don't mind as much because it's such like a nostalgic. Well, you mean I hate it. Playing it since every Black Ops. But
I can't stand it.
See, I don't mind it just because of the fact that it's like it's almost like having zombies in Black Ops. It's like at least
it's a staple in the Black Ops series, but it's like the game.
How many times can you play it?
It's like the pacing is wrong. That's why some of these maps aren't played correctly. Is because the game pacing in Black Ops 2 and Cold War are very different, and it doesn't play well, and it's like. The game just plays differently because in Black Ops 2 or like Black Ops 1, you didn't have sliding. It was dolphin diving. The game was slower. Angles were different. Gameplay was different. Whereas now it's like you got a guy sliding across the map doing a 360 no scope and like quick scope somebody like it's just like
through a wall.
Yeah, and it's like it's just not fun to play.
Well, look on the on the one map Raid. You have guys beating you to that one corner from the opposite end of the map, and as you come up those stairs in the middle of the map, you're getting shot through the wall. And it's
then
like
skill-based matchmaking ruined the games because now it's like for somebody like you, okay? If you play by yourself, you're playing in a lobby or like lobbies where the highest KD maybe is probably like a 1 KD ratio.
And then after I've been playing with you guys,
right? So you're gonna feel good. You're gonna play well. You're gonna do well.
Yeah.
But then if I play by myself, I'm in lobbies where the highest KD could be anywhere from a 2 to a 3, like anywhere in there. And then it's like all these kids are get on the game to sweat and to try really hard and get 100 kills every game and yada yada. And I'm just sitting here after work like, let me play some Call of Duty. And then I'm just getting shit on. And it's like I don't want to try that hard. I don't want to, like go balls out and try to, be this crazy good. I just want to play the game. I just want to have some fun. But that's also why switching gears from Call of Duty a little bit, get into some more sports games like Madden. Madden is atrocious, horrendously bad,
and they haven't changed like the graphics or anything.
It's been
from
bad
the catching,
for a long time.
from even for interceptions or whatever it is. It hasn't gotten any better.
And they always pride themselves on like, well, this year. So for example, right? I think it was Madden 17 or 18 where they switched their engine. So they went from, which was crazy because if you play Madden 16, okay, or any like 15, 14, 13, I
have 15 here.
Yeah, you play the game and it feels like you're watching an NFL. Yeah, the graphics aren't great. It was made in 2013, sure. Yeah, yeah, but you know what you see? You see, oh, there's Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, actual commentators, sitting there and they're like, hey guys, like you would watch like a CBS game.
Yes.
And you have the actual obviously they don't put CBS title in there, but it's the same premise, same overlay, same look to the game. And guess what? It creates that level of immersion to where it's like, if for somebody like me that plays franchise or offline game modes, I like to play the game to feel like I'm kind of recreating history or just making my own storyline.
100%.
And then they switched over to the Frostbite engine, and it's like, oh, well, now we can show like these crazy cool cinematic entrances and stuff before the game. And it just doesn't. It's not realistic because it would be different if they were like like the NFL where you'll see like, here comes the Philadelphia Eagles, and it'll be like the Eagle graphic, and then it'll be like some highlights from past games and so on. With this game, or like all these past like 4 games, it'll always be a highlight of the game you're about to play.
Yep.
And it's like, why? Like it takes you out of the immersion, and then you have these generic. Brian Davis and Charles Gaudin, awful commentators.
And they've been having this problem for years. And it's one of those things where it's like you have to listen to your people, especially people that are going to be paying for your game, enjoying your game. And it's like, okay, I know I'm sitting here not understanding how to develop a game, understanding how to do all this and how to do graphics or how to set up a game, but they do. And it's one of those things where it's a product, and any kind of product, especially with this podcast, we take any kind of criticism. Yeah. So it's like if someone's like, "Hey, you guys should wear purple on a podcast," all right, well that's gonna help. We might try it, but it's one of those things where it's like if you have all this kind of information coming at you over the years, this would help it be a lot better, and it's overwhelming.
But it doesn't matter because of they're making so much money off of the stuff that they put into the game,
and that's what's frustrating. It's like if they really just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do this to be better. We're gonna listen to like the community." Yeah. Okay, they might take a hit on some of it, but the fact that they're like listening and doing it, that could pay off in the long run.
Well,
and
it's you're gonna sell more games.
It just sounds like corporate greed, if you ask me.
Well, look at games like now, like Madden. It came out in what, August, right? So September.
Yeah, I didn't even think about downloading it.
No, the game comes out and it's already in October. It's already like half off. Or like 30% off, and that's because they're like, look, we got to entice people to buy the game somehow. Who wants to play the game? Nobody, because you have content creators playing the game. The game sucks. You play, like they try to make everything seem, whatever, and then it's like, oh well, we go to next gen, right? You can't even buy a PS5 or Xbox One S, Series X, or whatever. Like you can't. Like they're like $800 now. Yeah,
or you have to re-buy them off of like eBay. And it's grand.
And then it's like you have like, and so then it's like all the companies are now like, well, we're gonna focus on next gen consoles, even though this is the hardest to get a next gen console in the history of consoles. Because what they did was they took up all the microchips, like they took up all like the processing chips, and they used all that for the consoles. And then when they sold all the consoles, they had no more to make more consoles. So then they had to figure that out. And that's
I didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't know the dynamic around it. All I know is like it happened. People try to get it, and then like as they were about to put things in their cart, couldn't do it, and then or they would go to wherever and like we don't have anything.
But basically, it'd be like if you made shoes and you made like 1,500 million shoes, and you had no more laces, sold out all your shoes, right? Or let's say whatever, you sold 1 million shoes, let's say, and then people are like, well, we want more shoes. You're like, well, I gotta wait for this other guy to make me my laces so that I can get you your shoes. But then that guy's like, well, I used up all my product making your laces for the 1 million. No, I got to wait to get my laces, like my material to make the laces to give to you to make the shoes. And then that guy looks at the guy that gets the material, and that guy's like, well, the material is on its way. It's just I didn't expect you to
and
there's
all these problems with the consoles in and of itself.
Yeah, and then you make the shoe and it falls apart. And then you're like, we got to recall the shoe, so we got to wait more time. And then it's like, okay, well, now everything's more expensive. We got to make more money because we took a hit. So now we got to raise the price of the shoes, and then it's like we're gonna only release a little bit at a time. So I have enough to make 1,500 more shoes. Now only 1,500 get it instead of 1 million, and that's kind of the cycle of the next gen consoles. But what my point is, now you have games that are geared specifically towards next gen consoles. So if you want the updated graphics, the updated gameplay, the updated feel of the game, you have to get a next gen console.
Which is frustrating because I know like Xbox. Like my brother Ryan was really worried about it because he got the new one for Christmas. Yeah, lucky little shit. Shout out to my dad and my mom for really kind of providing that, which he's appreciative of. Yeah, but like they were having so many issues with it where things were shutting down. They weren't even booting. They were it would have been considered like the red ring of death, but it was like they were blinking. Yeah, and all this kind of problems, and people were even like vaping into it. But like it's just frustrating. But then you have things like Madden kind of come out. But one of the things that I do have to kind of hand Activision. Not Activision, Ubisoft. Yeah, is I can consistently. I know like Valhalla got some like crap, but I love Assassin's Creed. Yeah, those are one of the things that I've never had an issue with. Because like even from like you played them, right? Or some of them like the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, I played every Assassin's Creed up until Odyssey.
Got you. Okay.
So I didn't play Odyssey. I didn't play Prime or what's the one you're like in Egypt? Is that Odyssey?
Origins.
Origins. I didn't play Origins, and I didn't play I didn't play Valhalla.
That was.
And I didn't. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's what I stopped.
That was, dude. Well, then I'll try to say the ones that you know, but like Black Flag was legitimately my favorite one.
Well, I know the premise because like I like to as like a hobby of mine, like
What,
something I watch the gameplay footage, just like a game, like you know what I mean. It's just something I like to
Well,
enjoy.
I got frustrated with you because I remember. So you watched the Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like watching because I like to play it because
Yeah.
I'm very big into Assassin's Creed. It's my
Yeah.
favorite franchise. And I was like, oh well, I'm about to go. Sorry if I'm gonna ruin it for anybody. You should have played it by now. But like Medusa or whatever it is, or I'm gonna see the Sphinx, and you go, oh, it's about to get good. I'm like, how do you know? And I'm like, I know you're good at video games. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like 90 hours into it. How do you? And you're like, oh, just wait. I'm like, you fucker. And but like they have been consistently good, and one of the things that I do like is their forums, and they're very active on Twitter when it comes to their community.
Yeah.
So if you look at, I believe it was it Unity? I think it was, or whatever it was. One of the characters, or the quote unquote assassins, had like they had like a crossbow on his back. And people on Twitter were like, "This is historically inaccurate."
And they took it away.
And then you see in the game, there's no crossbow.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, did it cost some extra time and stuff to fix that? Sure.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that they made it historically accurate. And if you look in Black Flag, you see the people that you're fighting and killing or working with, like James Kidd, you obviously have Blackbeard, you have the ships, the dynamics and how they worked, and it's like, this is historically accurate.
Well, I know when I played it was Assassin's Creed 3, the one where you're like in the Independence War, like the the Revolutionary War. I don't know why I blanked on that word, but yeah,
they had some really good
the
stuff.
Independence War. Yeah, good job, Gavin. Yeah. So I remember I was playing that, and I played the shit out of that game, and you know, it was one of those things where it's like I really felt like when you met George Washington, you're like, holy shit, that's George Washington.
Shit. And it's immersive.
Yeah, because you're like playing it, you're like, and yeah, you're playing as a Native American assassin.
Yep.
That is fighting for against England.
Yep.
You know, fighting for the revolution, and you know, it's so good because you get to because then it's like the game is like it's not all about killing, you know, just like the British soldiers, because then it's like, oh, well, now you got to go and like, yeah, you're like cut off from this because you did this, so now you got to go hunt for food, and you actually have to go and kill like a bear or kill like a rabbit or something, and then you have to
build or mend like different like aspects of like what guns you can have.
You might kill somebody, and then they have a specific kind of wood that you can now make
and craft.
Yeah, like whatever.
Which was cool about like with like Black Flag is like if you complete the areas, like you know you have to you start out with like a pistol. Mm-hmm. That you get, and then as you kind of progress, you can kill alligators and board whatever it is, and you kind of build and kind of craft, and it's one of those things where people like doing that, which is one of the things that pulls me away from Call of Duty is there's more to do.
It's just more fun. It's kind of like you're playing a movie,
which is what I love.
And I mean, look back. So when 2013 or 14, like when 14, when the PS4 it's 2013, I think, when PS4 and Xbox One came out. You had this game, and the first game I ever watched anybody play on the next gen console was Rise, Son of Rome. And you were a Roman soldier.
That is old.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So the game was, you know, you're a Roman soldier, and I was blown away. I was like, dude, the graphics look great, the gameplay looks cool, and it was a good game. Now, the problem with like Valhalla, right? The game got so much crap because it's kind of like a copy and paste of any other action game.
It is.
You kind of, and it's so long, and so it's. I know I didn't play it, but I've been definitely listening to people talk about it, and they were like, well, there was bugs in the game, like when you fight Fenrir. Right. Yeah. And then you like then it's like the game will sometimes glitch, and instead of it being a cool cutscene, he's literally like clay motion jumping around the screen, not doing anything, and then
they did fix that. I will give in the first like couple months of it, they did fix a lot of the bugs, which again they do listen to the people. But that was one of the things that I had a frustration with Valhalla was the areas you were with. Like if you look at like Black Flag, you look at Origins, the map size it's big in general because you have like the ship, but when you're in like Havana or Nassau or wherever it is, you can kind of get around. It takes you some while to collect all the stuff, but like in Valhalla, it takes a long time.
And I'm sorry, but I watched the Valhalla gameplay. and like for the first like hour and a half, I was bored. Like I was watching it, and I'm like, like scrolling on my phone. I'm not really paying attention because it's like, what is it? The first hour is like you're playing as like your character, but like you're in your village, and then like your brother comes back or something, and then you're like, huzzah, like, you know, whatever, and then like the king is like, well, you got to go and do this, and then you're like, I don't want to do this. We have to do this, and you have to fight somebody, and then you got to, and then like you're like half dead, and you see visions, and then like you're, oh, I thought my mom was here or something, and then it's like it's not really her. And,
well, that's where it got a lot of crap because I think what they were trying to do is people over the years were like, oh, you know, we beat Origins so fast, or we beat we beat like Black Flag so fast, or what was Odyssey? Oh, I loved that one, but like you would slam through it so fast, right? So you would just kind of hammer through, and the next thing you know, you're done. People are like, oh, we want it longer. But I think because they made it longer in different aspects where they didn't need to make it longer, it kind of got boring. Because Ryan, my brother, had that issue where he put it down, and he's like, this is taking forever. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think I love Vikings. I'm in the Norse mythology, so it was cool, but that definitely was an aspect.
Yeah, and I know, like, so I know, I would say Valhalla is more so good than it is bad.
I would agree.
But we're speaking in terms of just like pretty good games. You have some games that came out in the past couple of years that I would say are really freaking good. So within the last decade, right, we've had the Batman games, right? The Arkham series.
City.
So these games were a staple for gaming, kind of, because you have like Asylum comes out, and it's a middle of his career like Batman taking down the criminals in Arkham's Asylum.
And you're like a DC Marvel nerd. Yeah.
And then it's like Arkham City comes out, and it expands. So you have the whole city of Gotham to go and explore, and you're fighting the Riddler, and you're working with Catwoman, and the Two-Face, and the Joker, and all this stuff. And then it's like, and then they transferred the rights to a Canadian company to be able to. So they were working on Arkham Knight, right? But they wanted to make Arkham Knight really freaking good, and they were like, we got to put all of our effort into this game, so we're going to send the rights of the game to another company to be able to make a different game while we work on it.
Didn't know that.
So what they did was they did this Canadian, I forget the name of the company, but they created Arkham Origins. So what's cool about it is that they went with because they couldn't make a game about Batman's like end of his career, because that's what the original company was working on. Okay, so they had to make it, so they made an origin game, and it was literally like a very young Batman, still like really stubborn, kind of dumb, not dumb, but like just like stuck in his ways. Like there's a part where like you can like you're like tracking somebody down, and you get captured and like beat up, and then you're like Batman. Then you notice like in other games it would have prompted you to do something else because of that.
Got you. Okay.
So like for example, like
cool.
you'll see a group.
I wish I played it.
It's really good. So like you'll see like a group of villains. You jump down, you start fighting them, but then you're taking a shitload of damage, and then like you have no damage, like, no health going to like the boss fight. Whereas in like Arkham City or Arkham Knight, it's an older, wiser Batman. So now it's like different suit technology, whatever. You see, okay, there's like 15 guards. I could jump down there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stealthily take down 3 of them with that have the snipers, take them out first, do this, that, and the other. That way it's easier, and then it's just cool to see the progression of his career, and obviously each one of the games has their own flaws. Like Asylum gets kind of tedious, just it is what it is.
What do you mean by like tedious?
Like, just like some of the missions are kind of boring, and some of the stuff you have to do is kind of, I would say, it's just not engaging enough. Like when you're like you have to, like, it's trying to show you how Batman like would figure out how to get past something, and then you have to like put like a puzzle together. And then in City, it started doing the thing where like you have to like hack into like the radio tower, so then you got to figure out like the combination of the letters to like access the password. And then
putting in combinations is great for that zombie.
Oh, don't even bring it up. But then you have like all the Riddler side missions, and they take so goddamn long to find each little trophy.
I did play some of it on PS3.
Yeah.
Oddly enough,
you can buy the like Origins for like $8 now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to see on the Game Pass.
Because it's it's a good. I would say it's definitely a game that you would probably enjoy. But
I would say you're correct about like 10%,
everything, 100%, 100% of the time, 100% of the time,
especially after today.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. So then
I'll look into it.
Arkham Knight comes out, and that's the game they were working on for like 4 years, and it's a very, very good game. There are, like I said, some flaws, like. People were upset that they took so long to make the game, and it was supposed to be the farewell, the swan song of Batman, and everyone figured out the way the game was set up was like you had to figure out you didn't know who the main villain was.
Oh,
but then the game was trying to make it seem like a mystery, but everyone figured out who the main villain was.
Oh, really?
Like, right off the bat.
Oh, that's cool though, because you can kind of play through it. Did you not like that aspect?
No, because it would.
I would.
You know what I mean? No, because it would be like it's like. it's like they're building up. It's like a big build up, and it's like who is this person that knows everything about me? Oh, they built it
all the way up, and you already knew.
Yeah, it's like how does this person know everything about me, and how is he fighting me so well, and how does he know where to shoot my armor to hurt me? And then it's like and people are like, when we first play the game, it's like, oh, that's Jason Todd, a Robin that got captured a couple years ago by the Joker, held in Arkham Asylum for a year, tortured, and now he's.
So you guys already figured it out. You already knew.
Yeah. And then the entire game is kind of like, because then there's a part of the game where like Batman's like, who could this be? And I'm screaming at my computer like, it's Jason. Like, you know what I mean? Like you already know.
Yeah.
But gameplay style was really freaking cool. Some of the tanks, or like the way you have to use like the Batmobile,
sure,
kind of gets boring. Because you have to fight like these like armored tanks, and then after like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time doing it, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna shoot, and then it's gonna indicate me to dodge. I'm gonna dodge. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna die. And so it's like, whatever. But the reason that I liked Origins so much was because it's a young Batman fighting these villains for like the first time, and you fight Bane, Joker, or you fight Bane, like this Shocker guy. You fight Death's. You fight. I was born in it. Molded by it. But you fight, Deathstroke, all these different guys, and it's like, Mr. Freeze, and it was just a fun game.
Yeah.
So that series of games I really enjoyed.
I'll have to take some time and do it.
Yeah, and definitely I would.
What you think about like the Spider-Man game?
Spider-Man game was fucking awesome.
Because you have the special edition PS4.
Yeah, I went out and I specifically bought the Spider-Man PS4 Pro because I was so hyped for the game.
Yeah,
and
I wish I could play it.
You can play. I'll bring my PlayStation over.
Oh, word, cool. Let's just stop the podcast. We'll just.
All right, cool. Peace.
All right,
no, it's a really good game, and the reason why I like that game so much was because there's some flaws, and there's some stuff that's like you play as Mary Jane, and you have to like be like a reporter and like stealthily move through these like government.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It gives you different viewpoints of character. I mean,
I
would have thought that was.
It's cool.
Wasn't that good?
But after like the third time doing it, it's just like. You're Mary Jane, who has no powers. You can't interact with any of the villains. And so what you have to do is, like, crouch walk behind different things, wait for people to walk by, take a picture of something, and then, like, a cutscene will be like, or, like, she'll talk to somebody, and she'll be like, okay, I'm in the shipment yard, and oh, my God, they're bringing in women from Asia. Oh, my God, we got to stop them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I got to get out of here. And then, of course, it's like there's the door, and then here's a guard just randomly standing where you can't get past him, so you got to walk all the way around. And then if you do one thing wrong, then you got to throw a bottle, and every guard's going to go, huh? And then you got to walk around the guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you're playing a Spider-Man, the storyline is dope. The characters are dope. The game was just fun. I played it I completed it 100%. Did all the side missions, all the side quests.
Cow.
Unlocked almost every skin in the game. Just like suit that you can wear.
Yeah.
Played the game I think twice, and it's fun. But I made a boo-boo accidentally. And I might have deleted my 100% completion game file.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, I understand because, that would mean you would have proof. So, no, it's cool. No, we know you didn't actually do it.
I don't even play the game. I don't even know what Spider-Man is. Well, what happened was I played the game the first time, and I was like 80% through the game, and I was like, I think the game would look cooler if I replayed it in a different skin.
And you
so I replayed the game and
on that file.
I replayed the game on a different file, and I ended up 100%ing it.
Yeah.
With like my new skin, I was wanting to, like the couple skins. I feel like some of the cutscenes would look cool. Okay, that was why I did it. Okay,
You're such a nerd.
Sorry, my apologies. And I played the game, and then I was like, all right. And then I was going to start it a third time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I literally made up a new file.
Okay.
And I was like, that's dumb. I'll just finish the other one. And then I went to delete it, but I didn't see the icon, like the marker was on the 100% game. I thought it was on the third one, and I clicked delete, and I deleted it, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh no. And then that was that. So then I kind of stopped playing the game.
You know what you do? Wow, words. You know what you need to do now?
What?
Quit your job.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Close your door and just play until you're done. That sounds probably the most productive thing you could do in this society.
I could do that. Or I could make money.
Well...
Okay, how about this? I'll do that. And for the amount of time that I play the game...
I know where this is going. I have
you
to
pay me every day.
So actually, funny story. I actually broke my clavicle.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And my left tibia.
Okay.
Therefore, I can't actually do that. Oh, and it takes 3 to 5 business days to, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's that's fine. It's fine by me. We'll make it work. You could just.
I hate you. I hate you so. I knew where that was going the second you're like, all right, listen.
All right. Well,
hear me out.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Oh my god. That is his catchphrase. He has a shirt and a sweatshirt that says, "Here's the thing." But yeah, I mean, that's those are all kind of the games. I don't know if you want to expand on any.
There's some games that I think like I know like the Spider-Man game. Obviously, everyone's pretty much seen it or played it or at least heard about it.
Yeah.
And the new Miles Morales game that came out with the PS5, pretty cool game. Kind of same kind of premise as the first game. And I think we have some games coming out. So the Star Wars games. So Star Wars back in like 2005 came out with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They are probably the best cinematic trailers you will ever see for a video game. And the gameplay obviously wasn't good, crazy good. Like the graphics could not match because it was made in 2004. You're playing on like a PS2, whatever. But they're remastering the game, and it's coming out soon. So, that's gonna be cool. But there's some
Battlefield
games.
2042.
Battlefield 2042 looks good.
Charles, so that was actually going to be he loved the beta. He was having a ball. So that one I'm kind of excited. I'm trying to like play some of those because they're which is cool.
I'm probably gonna get that game.
Well, they're all free on, which I am like blessed to have. Is like I'm glad I paid for it. The Xbox Game Pass, which all of them are free, which I'm kind of excited to play, kind of get through. But I know that one's kind of coming out soon. Let me see here. There was a Disney.
Oh! I almost forgot. Okay, so sorry, I'm not excited for this. In the next few years, we're gonna have a Wolverine game coming out.
Oh.
And it's going to be made by Insomniac. That's the developer of Spider-Man. Yes. So Insomniac is making. So if you obviously we just talked about how good the Spider-Man games are.
Yeah.
They're making a Wolverine game.
Oh.
So it's going to be good, and it's going to be on the PS5 and the PS4, I believe, and it's coming out in 2022 or 2023.
They just make it on all platforms.
I know, but it's going to be in a couple years. So by that point, it depends. People like I probably in the next 2 years will move on from the PS4 at some point. Maybe, I don't know.
Hopefully, we're still playing video games by then.
Hopefully, but at the rate we're going now, I mean, shit, I might not play video games until then.
Yeah, no, I understand. And it's one of those things where I want to be able to play those games and enjoy it, especially with like Spider-Man or whatever it is. And it's just hard because it's like I love Xbox.
Yeah,
I think they're very user friendly, and I think they're very good with their their people, and it's just one of those things where it's like I don't want to switch, but it's like I want to be able to play Spider-Man. I want to be able to play that new Wolverine game if it comes out or whatever it is, and like I want to be able to have a lot more games that are cross-compatible.
That would be fun. And you know what? I think too. I think for like when we play, I think we gotta make our own fun. Like I think when you and I,
well, I mean, we have been like, hey, we're gonna do this challenge. We're gonna,
but that's what I'm saying. Like we make it more fun instead of getting mad that we're not doing well or whatever, or that the game sucks. Like,
or you get mad at me because I'm like 2-5.
Anyway, yeah, but no, I think that might make gaming a little bit more fun. And hey, even maybe one day we all get like single player games and we all like get on Discord and we all just play and like see who can beat it first or. Whatever. I know that's what me and Tyler did when we got Spider-Man. We got it at the same time. Well, he got his a little bit like a week, like a couple of days before mine. But that was actually that's a funny story. He got his Spider-Man edition PlayStation, right? Same one I have. And he was like, "You got to get it, bro." So I was trying to order it online, but me and him decided to go to Best Buy to see if they have any in stock.
Okay.
We go to Best Buy. They're about to close. We pull up. We're like, "Yo, do you have any of these in stock?" They're like $400. I'm going to buy it right now. And they're like, "No, but there is like 10 left in a Best
Different
Buy
store.
in where do we go? Like Westchester or something. It was like
you
past.
went out for it.
It was past
find
Exton.
Yeah.
It was like past Exton. Like it was way out there. Jesus. And me and Tyler went at like 7 a.m. I picked them up. We got coffee and we drove out. I drove out there. And we get there, and the guy was like, "Look, drive up there. I'll reserve your thing for that store. You go up there, you pick it up, you pay for it." Like, I paid for it at that store. The guy was like,
pick it up
"Yeah." He's like, "Just go pick it up tomorrow. It'll be ready for you by like 11 or whatever." Or he's like, "Just whenever the store opens." We get up there. We walk. It's a rainy day. We walk in. We go to the pickup station, and I'm like, "Hey, this is my name," and they're like, "We don't have it." And I'm like, and I just spent $400. I don't have anything yet, and I'm like, kind of freaking out because like. At that point, $400 was a lot of money. Like, it was
still a lot of money.
Yeah. So I was like, listen, like, where's my fucking console? And they're like, we don't have it. So I'm like, Tyler's like, you I don't know. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm about to get your manager down here or something. And the lady's like, listen, I don't know what the guy told you. And I'm like, the other Best Buy employee told me to come and pick it up today. And she's like, no, your order is being like he processed an order, so it has to ship to our store or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not what he told me. I just spent $400 on a game, like on a console. Give me the console. So I'm getting heated. So then this, you can kind of call me a scumbag maybe. The lady looks at me and she goes, look, we have like we have another person's console here in the store, and so. You can take that one. I'm like, give it to me. So I thought about it for not 1 second. Like she was like, I have another one. I'm like, let's go. Like, give it to me. So she basically goes in and hands me some random person's pre-ordered console or like reserved console. Gives it to me, and she's like, I don't know, they're gonna have to wait longer for theirs. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
I was told by this. You know what's funny? Someone's gonna listen to this podcast. She's like, oh my gosh,
my console.
We're gonna get canceled.
I don't care. But yeah, and so it's like whatever. And so I got my console, went home, plugged it in, and then the next week I sold my other PS4, and that was that. But yeah, man. So, no, there's some definitely exciting things coming. Like Battlefield's coming out. It's going to be exciting. I know 2K is pretty good this year after the last few years of it being pretty bad. So if anybody plays 2K, you can let me know or let us know if it is good enough to buy. I know Madden and 2K right now are on sale, and I know. There like I said, there is some cool games coming out, like Wolverine game, and I think they're working on. I think they might be working on. They're working on a Justice or a Suicide Squad game, So there's some cool games coming out and everything like that. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got to say on video games at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think this was a good first gaming podcast. We'll have some more, in the coming weeks. But kind of stay tuned. We have everything up. We're already good to go. Make sure you're following socials. Interact. Tell us you said hi. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Actually, you don't have to tell us that. But
if you have any, and a big thing is too is if you have any like input, positive or negative,
please,
don't feel afraid to reach out. If you know us personally, reach out. If you don't know us, you don't have our number, you don't have our contact information, comment below our posts. On
DM
Facebook,
us.
on Instagram, on YouTube.
Please.
Comment, do something. So that because we want to put out a product that you guys want to listen to.
Absolutely.
And as fun it is for us to make and record and research and work on it, it's I would enjoy it if only one person listened. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I want to make sure it's enjoyable for the people that want to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So, you can't really bitch about big companies not caring about people and not do that.
Absolutely. And that's why we say that. Like, please, like if you have a movie idea and we watch it, or maybe we think it's good, we'll watch it, we'll review it. If you have a good game you want us to check out, we'll do the same thing 100%. Or whatever it is. Or if like something big happened that we didn't cover in a sports podcast, because we do this every week, let us know, and we'll be like, hey, Jimmy John from Collegeville, Pennsylvania, whoever. But
social security number is fun. No.
But I think that kind of covers everything. This is going to be kind of closing in on everything else, but if that's it,
that's pretty much it.